today's video, we are reviewing the long overweighted, long overdue, highly anticipated Nike D-Tack 7.0. Now, before we jump into the actual review of the product, we're going to quickly head over, do the unboxing, give you some first impressions, and we'll be right back here. So I forgot to do a proper unboxing before we actually got started here, but we can kind of fake our way through it today. So in the packaging, it's really simple. All you get is the gloves and you get the little card that Nike's kind of going with now. On the card, it says durable palm helps grip and hold the football. It no longer says Hydro Grip because they're not actually using Hydro Grip anymore. Strategically placed padding on the back of hand and fingers, and adjustable cuff allows you to customize. And it says $70 CAD price is going to be what they retail for, hopefully. And here's going to be the glove. So big redesign as far as this time around. They've done a lot of things differently with this one versus in the past. So to start off, you have the Nike logo on the cuff at the bottom here. The cuff is a really nice thick neoprene cuff, which is very standard on a lot of lineman gloves now. You do have the Nike logo with this kind of fluted kind of design, very similar to the Jordan Flylocks, which you can't see. And the Nike logo is technically upside down from something that it would have used to be there. So you have the Nike logo, it wraps around to the cuff on the front here. On the inside of the glove, there is a micro Velcro here, which is really nice. And then nothing on the inside. Starting at the bottom of the glove, we have a bunch of small perforations here that are kind of like honestly a filler, add a little bit of breathability. We have 3 diamond pads on the back. Before they used to have the Nike logo here, so they got rid of that. On the knuckles, we have 4 more kind of diamond-y shaped pads there. The white things here are perforations in the glove to kind of help with a little bit of breathability, not a ton. On 3 of the fingers, we have 3 pads that articulate, so different parts of your finger. The little, again, white are perforations in the glove. On the pinky, you have 1 pad, which is a Nike logo as well. Nice touch. And then on the thumb, you have 2 big pads here. Between the thumb and the main body, you do have a large piece of mesh here to give you a lot of dexterity and kind of give your thumb that mobility, which is nice. As far as the fingers, everything is sewn in. Between the fingers, you do have a mesh material here to kind of add some breathability. And where the old school ones kind of wrapped over the finger caps here, they don't have that anymore. They just have a double stitch reinforced on there. Now the big difference is going to be with the grip on the inside. So it's no longer a Hydro Grip, it's like a lineman grip now of some kind. But the difference is it feels similar to the Hydro Grip, but you can also print designs on it. So you do have a gel pad on the inside here. It's very hard to see with this pattern, but you can see there is a injection molded pad on the palm. We do have a Nike logo on this design here, and then it's just the grip. The rest of them very hard to see. And that's gonna be the full glove. Let's review it. This whole month is brought to you by Q-Collar. And since we started covering them, it's made a lot of traction with some of the top players now making it a part of their gear to get some essential protection to keep their brain healthy and keep them on the field. And with new partnerships including Senior Bowl, Maryland, Baylor, and Michigan State, they're definitely starting to make some waves. And compared to some of the other options out there, it just makes sense at this point. It's super lightweight, easy to wear, and proven to work. And with 12 different custom sleeve options, you can definitely make it match your team colors and make sure you have that drip factor. Check out Q30, which will be linked down below, to add some safety and some swag to your bag this season. All right, now jump straight into the review. So the first thing we always look at with these gloves is going to be the fit and comfort. And this is going to be one of the biggest differences between the 6.0 and the 7.0. When you actually look at the gloves, like face value, they really don't look that different, but on the 7.0s, they made a bunch of small improvements that really add up. To start, the mesh on the thumb is a lot bigger and gives you a lot more mobility and dexterity within your thumb. And they've actually reduced the amount of mesh by the pinky, and somehow you've gained dexterity, which doesn't really make sense, but they do fit a lot better. They've also made a ton of changes to the padding on the back of hand to give you more flexibility in your fingers and your knuckles. One of the toughest ones to deal with was this big Nike logo here. It was really cool to see a pad built into the logo for the first time, but it made your back of hand mobility really limited. They got rid of that, moved the Nike logo to the pinky, and now you have a ton of flexibility and freedom. Looking at the cuff on these is virtually identical. It's a neoprene cuff, just like all the other lineman gloves on the market. Next up is going to be breathability, and these are pretty much no different. They are a lineman glove. Nike has their thick injection molding padding on here, which really holds the heat in, and overall, these are just not good for breathability. Your hands get hot. It is what it is. Next up, we're going to look at durability. Now, this one's kind of tricky for me because I thought the D-Tack 6s were a very durable looking glove. If you look at all the pad, it's big and thick. Everything is double stitched on all the seams. The finger caps went over the top. Like, this looked like a super durable glove, and I always had people commenting saying that all of theirs ripped on them in like the Hydro Grip and stuff, and I could just never prove it, and I never saw it for myself, but I had tons of comments that said they did. So looking at this glove, it has all the same stuff. It has all the double stitching on the back of hand, all the double stitching on the seams. Nothing is screen printed. Everything's embroidered and embossed on here, so it looks like a really durable glove again. The only difference from a durability perspective is going to be now that they have screen printing on the grip, this will probably not be as durable anymore. This will wear off over time, and the finger caps do not flip over the top. It's a 2-piece versus a 1-piece, so fingertips should be slightly less durable as well. Again, it looks like a very durable glove to me, but with the comments from the 6.0s, I can't really prove it. All right, next thing we're gonna look at is protection. Now, they've actually increased the number of pads from the 6.0 to the 7.0, but they've also made the pads smaller from the 7.0 to the 6.0. You get what I'm trying to say. Basically, when you're looking at the pads on the back of the fingers here, before they had 2 pads, now they have 3 pads, which is great for dexterity and for protection, covering more spots. However, when you're looking at them, the pads are slightly smaller and not as thick on the fingertip as they were on the back of hand with the 6.0s. Same thing when you're looking at the knuckles. We have 4 diamonds across both of the knuckles, and we had 1 Nike logo big pad here. Now we have 3 diamonds and 4 diamonds, but again, they are all slightly smaller. Even look at the size of the diamonds are different now. So more pads, but less thick pads, kind of trading one thing for another. The one big one that's actually really different on here is the pinky. Now, if you look at my pinky on this one, I have full flexibility in it because it just has this Nike logo with the pad here. It does a little bit, but not a ton, versus my pinky on this, it like barely even moves because these pads were so big and thick on here. So again, makes it way easier to grab a football in these, but at the same time, again, not as protective. And I should also mention the biggest difference between Nike and mostly everyone else is Nike does not use like a traditional foam padding on their lineman gloves. So a lot of other companies use like a thin foam material and it's kind of stitched in, where Nike uses an injection molded kind of gel material in there. I wish I could cut these open, but so it doesn't really feel like a foam anything. It feels like a thick gel material that you can press in. It's great. It absorbs a lot of impact, does hold in the heat, but from a protection standpoint, it's great. All right, the big difference between the 6.0s and the 7.0s, grip. Now, the cool thing is the grip on the inside can now be printed on, which is really cool. We can have stuff like the receivers have. So from a grip perspective, that's cool that we can have that design. However, they have slightly changed it. This was called the Hydro Grip, and now this no longer has an actual name. So I'm not sure if they're still working on the patent or trademark or for whatever they're going to call this, but it's technically not the Hydro Grip anymore. It's very similar. It's like a blend between a receiver grip and a friction grip. Personally, I did like the Hydro Grip a little more when I was outside trying to work on grabbing a football and stuff. I just found the Hydro Grip performed a little better with like a wet and a muddy football, where this is more like a receiver grip a little bit, which doesn't perform as well in those kind of all-weather conditions. So I do love the old Hydro Grip over this one as far as a grip standpoint. However, we'll talk about everything, the benefits that this one gives you later. All right, next up, we're gonna cover price. Now, I don't actually know the price yet because these won't be dropping, at least from when I'm filming this, for a couple weeks. I think they're gonna be 70 CAD, or maybe 70 US, I can't really confirm. So we'll leave the price in the description down below. Lineman gloves generally across the board are all around the same price, so check that out if you want to know the price. All right, next up is going to be style. And I think we can all agree that there is a big bump in style between the 6.0s and the 7.0s. I like the pinky design on here. I love all the diamond padding on the back. It had it on both, but it's just such an aggressive looking glove. The big difference between Nike and everyone else as far as lineman gloves is going to be colors. Everyone else either does a black or a white, or that's pretty much it, versus Nike does them in all the different team colors. So you can pick these up in royal blue, navy blue, red, black, white, and maybe hopefully they'll do a gray or something this year. As far as colors goes, Nike is always on top of it way more than any other company when it comes to the colors of their lineman gloves. So from a style perspective, I absolutely love these. These are my favorite on the market to rock. The other cool thing about the style is they said that we have these printable grip now, which is a really cool technology that they've come up with that no one else has done on a friction style grip for linemen. This year, they've kind of come up with the zigzag pattern, and they're going to have that on all their gloves, and it's going to be kind of, you know, the primary color and then the secondary on the inside. However, what I see them doing is, because if you remember with these D-Tacks, they only came out with one D-Tack and it lasted like 6 years or something. Like, they don't come out with lineman gloves often. They spend a lot of time on them and they let them sit in the market for a while. The issue with the D-Tacks is that meant they could never refresh them, which just always meant you were getting the same colorway, so there's nothing they could do about it. However, now with this one, they could keep the same Nike D-Tack 7.0 year over year over year. It'll be the same actual glove with the same technologies, but at least now they can change up the grip, change up the style, and do different drops every year like they do for receiver products. So that is really cool to see. From a style perspective, they are light years above every other lineman glove. Last thing we're going to talk about is positions. Now, these are a dedicated lineman glove, which means you can maybe wear them at linebacker, but I would not recommend them for a tight end, a running back, a quarterback, anything like that. Any position on the line, you can definitely wear these at. I'd be a little wary about these at center if you play in, like, you know, really humid or really mucky conditions where you get a lot of rain, you get a lot of mud, a lot of different conditions. Kind of your standard dry heat, these are going to be great just like any other glove, but I just did find that they worked a little bit better with a composite football than a leather football. So again, take those factors into account when you're looking at these, but they are a lineman glove and they should work for almost every lineman lineman in most circumstances. All right, that's going to be it for today's video. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, don't forget to subscribe. We put out 2 videos every single week detailing all the products coming out for this year to make sure you are buying and spending your money in the right places. I absolutely love this glove right now. This has got to be my favorite lineman glove on the market overall. I've loved everything they've done to it year over year. Love the changes. I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.